Hello friends, my name is Behroz and welcome to the channel where I share with you tips, tricks that I read, learn and apply in order to become the best version of myself. In this video, I will talk about 3 toxic things that I was able to completely eliminate from my life in order to make my life more fulfilling and more healthy. So I will talk about what those 3 things are, why are they toxic, and how I was able to eliminate them altogether. The first one is news. I have stopped watching and reading news altogether. I do make an exception for major events of serious impact, but generally I avoid all news. First and foremost, it's a major stressor. According to a research, more than half of Americans agree that news causes them stress, and many feel anxiety, fatigue, and sleep loss as a result. Yet 1 in every 10 US adult checks the news every hour. Secondly, consuming negative headline after negative headline can make you far more anxious, worried, and sad. Also, it often portrays a negative, extreme, and a biased view, making it look like that there is more violence, conflict, and strife than in reality. Thirdly, and the most important one, most news doesn't affect you at all. For example, a hit and run in another town, a drug bust, a sex scandal, someone killing themselves, etc. You only have limited energy each day. Why waste them on negative things that you don't have any control over? This isn't about ignorance. This is just about knowing that certain things are not worth the impact that they create on your mental health. Second is negative people. Of all the self-improvement quotes, nothing impacted my life more than this. You are an average of 5 people you spend the most time with, according to Jim Rohn. The people whom we spend most time with determine what conversations dominate our attention, along with the attitudes and opinions that we are regularly exposed to. Eventually, we start to eat what they eat, talk the way they talk, read what they read, think like they think, and watch what they watch. The funny thing is that more than often we are unaware of the similarities between us and our circle of 5. If you surround yourself with negative, unhappy, and unambitious people, they will bring you down to their level no matter how hard you try. According to research, the people you habitually associate yourself with determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. You may be most conscious and smartest person around, but if you are constantly surrounded by negative and fear-based people in your life, it will impact who you really become and your progression in life. So why avoid negative people? Why just not let them impact you altogether? The answer is that it is much easier to change the environment than to change yourself. No matter what you do, you cannot out-willpower your environment. So if you have to change, you have to change your environment first, since it is far more effective to change one's environment than to change oneself. So the easiest way to bring any change in your life is to change who you socialize with. One of the most effective things that you can do in order to build good or new habits is to join a culture where your desired behavior is a normal behavior. So for instance, when I first came to Canada, there were a bunch of people that I met in my initial visit who were extremely negative about immigration, about Canada and the prospects and everything with regards to job, the climate, weather, people, culture, etc. Initially, it made me very depressed because I recently made my move to Canada, moving all my family, left all my job, and getting to know such views from such people was really depressing for me. But I soon checked myself out, which is that I need to avoid such negativity from my life, and hence I started to avoid those social contacts which were full of negativity with regards to moving to Canada. As a result, I was able to form my own opinion and find my own way. And eventually, I was able to make my immigration to Canada a success for myself, for my career, for my family, and my happiness. Just because I did not get bogged down by that negativity, rather I avoided it altogether. Now, an example for the power of social circle that I make use a lot is me joining CrossFit. Just by joining a CrossFit gym where there was a CrossFit community, I was able to fall into good habits because they would talk about nutrition, they would talk about working out, they would talk about sleep, recovery, and all. So all of this discussion that would go around in the CrossFit athletes in that particular CrossFit gym that I joined influenced me and made me change as a person in terms of my nutrition, health, sleep, and making me become a better version of myself. So in essence, all the good things about that community started to rub on me. Now, the third toxic thing, which is not just toxic as a person, rather it is also toxic for your body. This is sugar. I've almost reduced sugar altogether from my nutrition. With the exception of a cheat day once, twice or thrice a month, I don't have added sugar at all. Now, the web is full of all the benefits of removing sugar from your nutrition altogether. Health, sleep, weight loss, energy, and name it. But more than that, even your body classifies sugar as toxic. So every time you have added sugar, your body releases this hormone called insulin in order to control the sugar levels in your bloodstream. Because excess sugar in your bloodstream is lethal. So every time you have sugar, insulin is released because its job is to convert that sugar into fat as soon as possible. And hence that sugar becomes a store of energy, because leaving that sugar as is in the bloodstream is just pure lethal and toxic. And then that store of energy is used when and if you're in starvation mode or you need excess energy. And also the idea of insulin release is to avoid that high and low energy that you may experience when you have a sugar rush. Now, I won't dwell much into the benefits and the science of sugar here. Rather, what I would talk about more is how I was able to eliminate sugar altogether from my life. Especially given I would not have a cup of coffee without 2 teaspoons of sugar at all. I was big on cold drinks, soda, sugary drinks, and rather I would starve on the main meal, but I would never forgo my dessert. Meaning to say, my craving for sugar was extremely bad. And hence, if a person like me can remove sugar altogether from their life, anyone can do it. And here is how I did it. So with regards to a detailed hack in order to change any habit, you can check out my video with the link above. However, with regards to removing sugar from my nutrition, I took a very long-term approach, which is I did not go cold turkey one day and remove sugar altogether. Rather, it was a long haul, a long process of removing sugar little by little. It took me almost 2 to 2.5 years to claim zero sugar nutrition diet. So for instance, when I was taking 2 teaspoons sugar in my coffee, I first reduced it to 1.5 and did it for like 6 months. Then reduced it to 1, did it for another 6 months. Then reduced it to half and then completely got rid of it. And similarly, I got rid of other sugary nutritions that I was taking, but slowly and steadily in parts, making one success after another. This is exactly how I adopt any new habit or let go of any bad habit that I have previously taken. In essence, after removing these 3 toxic things from my life has significantly improved. I feel good mentally and physically and spiritually. Hopefully this was helpful for you as well, and you would consider removing these or at least reducing these toxic elements from your life.